Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome to video number 2 in this 5-part network marketing series. Today, what we're going to be talking about is identifying your target market. And we're going to be using something called market segmentation. And market segmentation is basically breaking down a larger market into smaller groups based on shared characteristics. So we're going to be looking at a large group of individuals and narrowing those individuals down to what we call a target market. So let's go ahead and get started. So generally, when we mention the word target market, we're talking about specific consumers. We're talking about the consumer you are trying to direct all your marketing effort towards. This is the group of people you're trying to attract to purchase your products. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean you won't promote or sell your products or services to any other consumers, but everything you do is going to be geared toward a targeted market, which will then increase your chances of sales and success. And see, the reason segmentation is so important is because all products are designed for a specific market. You see, by tailoring to that market, businesses see a much higher level of success. Come on, think about it. You wouldn't sell a baseball hat to someone that's a huge hockey or golf fan, right? No, it just doesn't make sense. So offline businesses, they use segmentations all the time, and it's no different when it comes to your online business. So now what I want to do is give you a visual of what this segmentation actually looks like. So here's a funnel, and this funnel is basically what we call our global market, or let's just call it the internet market. So what I'm going to be teaching you in this video is how to apply market segmentation to this wide group of consumers and come out with what we call your target market. You see, the reality is you can't advertise to everyone because there are so many different consumers. And the reason segmentation is so powerful is because with all these different variables, you will realize that what some people like, others won't. So trying to market to a wide group of people all at once is not effective. It's a waste of time and resources. So why not focus on the ones who you have a higher probability of reaching? All right, so I know what you're asking now is, Carson, how do we segment a market, or how do I segment a market? So basically, to segment a market, we simply dive into that market and we split it into smaller pieces. Now, there are 4 different parts of segmentation. Number one, the first one is what we call demographic segmentation. Now, demographic segmentation is dividing a larger market into smaller groups based on gender, age, income, education, etc. So, for example, we separate all the males from the females. We separate age groups, so 18 to 25, or maybe you're looking at 30 to 40. So that's what we're doing. We're basically separating gender, age, and then we have income, we have education. So maybe the specific product you want to promote is geared towards a higher income earner. And then, of course, we have education and so on. So we keep segmenting until we get to a small group that's probable of being interested in our product. And along with demographic segmentation, we also have what we call geographic segmentation. And this is where you segment or you break down that large market again into small groups based on region, zip code, we'll say state, countries. And why this is important is because many companies, when starting out their business, they start off on a local level or they start off on a smaller level. Let's say, for example, a restaurant where they don't have the resources to actually market out of state. But it makes sense to focus on the local community as the business grows. So segmentation for a restaurant industry would be highly effective. And then as they continue to grow, they can then branch out and market to a wider audience. And another reason why geographic segmentation is so important or it's so helpful is because the weather conditions, let's say, for example, we were in the solar industry, you wouldn't open up shop or you wouldn't target persons in cold places like Canada or Alaska. Again, it just wouldn't make sense. You would go for places like California and so forth. So these are mainly some of the reasons you would engage in geographic segmentation to determine if a consumer has a specific use for your product. So, in addition to these two areas, demographic and geographic segmentation, we also have what we call psychographic segmentation. And the reason for doing this is because just because you have a high probability in gender or age, or just because you know where somebody lives, it doesn't guarantee or doesn't necessarily mean that that person won't purchase. So, businesses also use psychographic segmentation, and psychographic segmentation basically segments that market based on interests, lifestyle, and sometimes even attitudes. So, in addition to finding out where the person lives, their age, etc., this particular segmentation focuses on what are you really like. When we look at Facebook, they have done a great job on gathering information, and their main purpose for doing this is for their marketing campaigns. You see, they can look at the things you like and they can then promote or they can sell ads to businesses based on your particular behavior, based on your interests and your lifestyles. So it's much more valuable than things like age. And again, it doesn't mean you're going to behave the same way. And see, the idea behind this is that if you have an interest, it's a much better variable to look at. So with psychographic segmentation, we're going to be looking at things like married with kids. Of course, if you're married, you're going to be interested in different things than persons who are single. Students in college, again, they're going to be interested in things different from those who are not in college. Now, where psychographic segmentations fall short is this. When we start looking at interests and lifestyles again, just because somebody let's say they're interested in racing, it doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be interested in like hiking or swimming and stuff like that. And see, basically, you have to ask that question to find out exactly if that person is actually interested or if that person would actually go ahead and do that particular thing. And so that brings us to the fourth and final one, which we call behavioral segmentation. And this is basically dividing your market based on actual behavior. You see, if people purchase product XYZ, they have a higher probability of purchasing another product that's closely related to it. Now, when we look at online sites like Amazon and eBay, for example, if you purchase a product and you go back to your home page, you will see that they show you related product based on what you buy. So if you buy a lot of books or if you buy a lot of electronics, when you go back to your home page or whenever you're browsing through Amazon or eBay, you will keep seeing other related products that's closely knitted towards that one. And this is because they understand this principle and they understand behaviors and they know that they have a higher probability of selling to those persons because they bought a closely related product before. So businesses use all of these segmentations and they narrow it down to what they call a target market. So we know exactly ideal characteristics. We know what they like, we know what they're interested in, we know what they're looking for in a product, and so we can specifically design that product for them. And that's the main goal here. Creating something and finding someone to sell to is very ineffective. You see, what works best is understanding who your market is first. What do they want? What pain are they feeling in the market? And by engaging in marketing segmentation, you find that out. Not only who they are, what they're like, or where they live, but you're also able to design products and services with their needs in mind. So that's how you identify your target market. Hopefully that clears up any questions you may have had before. If you have any additional questions, feel free to email me, send me a message on Facebook, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for video number 3.